Well, thank you for coming today. I'm Sheriff Jason Mikesell with the Teller County Sheriff's Office. With me today is Senator Mark Baisley. To my right and to my left is Commissioner Dan Williams. To his left are all the rest of the commissioners, Eric Stone and Bob Campbell. I kind of want to explain what's happening here in Teller County at a mine that we have called the Molly Kathleen Mine. This isn't an active mine, it's actually a tourism destination that identifies really what happens in mines. It's a family-owned business that's been here for well over 50 years, and they're good folks that run this mine. Around noon today, we received a call that there had been a mining incident. What occurred was that about 500 feet deep, we had a mechanical issue that created a severe danger for the participants or the riders that were on board. When we got here, the scene, there was a lot of things happening, but what we were able to do with the owner's assistance, with our fire departments, the Cripple Creek Fire Department, and many others, was to get that trolley car that goes down 1,000 feet in the earth up from the 500-foot position where the incident occurred. We were able to get them out, and the 11 people that were on that conveyance are okay. We did have one fatality that occurred during this issue at 500 feet. I can't give you a lot of information on it because it's an active investigation as to what occurred. I will tell you that we are in contact with the state of Colorado, and actually Jared Polis, the governor of Colorado, has called me directly and our commissioners and is working with us directly as to make sure that this issue can be resolved. I do have 12 people at 1,000 feet that are still there. At this time, they're all safe at the bottom with one of the workers here. We're looking at trying to find out what occurred with the elevator system and be able to get them out of the mine utilizing the elevator system. But we also have other plans in case of an issue. So we do have ropes teams here from Colorado Springs Fire Department and a lot of other folks that are assisting us. So we have MSHA that's been notified and OSHA. And from the state of Colorado, we have their engineers coming also to really inspect the elevator to make sure. Because what I want to make sure before we bring up an elevator with people on it, that it's safe, that this vehicle is safe for them to get to the surface. And right now, or what I know right now, is that they are safe at that 1,000-foot level. They honestly don't know that we've had an issue other than there's a problem with the elevator. So that's what we're waiting to do, is make sure that we can bring them safely at this time. Any questions that you have, I can probably answer as long as it doesn't affect the investigation. I can't give you a time on when they're going to get all the way out of this because I don't know what occurred with the elevating system. So once I have that, we'll be more than happy to give it to you.
Sheriff, are you aware of the conditions under the ground right now in the mine, temperature-wise, the spacing in that elevator?
Yeah, so actually they're in a shaft at the bottom. There's a tour that goes on at the 1,000-foot level where they show them how mining was done. That's where they're at. So they're actually safe on the ground inside the tunnel, and the atmospherics are good inside the tunnel. So I can tell you right now, they're drinking water, they have chairs, they have blankets, they have what they need for now, right? We're just trying to keep down the worry of what's going on so that nobody gets excited, right? And there's no really, we do have communications with them, so everyone is fine at this point.
Was it an issue? Oh, sorry, did I cut you off? My bad.
No, please go ahead.
Was there an issue? Was it more an issue with the trolley car or the mechanics of the elevator shaft that caused this?
Well, I call it a trolley car, but it's kind of a trolley elevating system. That is one of the things we're looking at. We don't know exactly what happened for this elevator to have this issue, and that's why we're checking to make sure. Really, because really, right now it's all about the safety of the people that are at the bottom, and that's where our prayers are at right now. We do have 4 people that were injured in the original elevator issue. Those are minor issues, back pain, neck pain, arm pain. They were seen by medical providers. A number of these people had a pretty traumatic incident, right? So I don't want to release any names at this point, and we did have somebody that did pass away. So right now we're working on that investigation process.
Sheriff, any minors, children involved? Was this a school trip, just community members touring the mine today?
You know, this is a tourist attraction. We attract people from all over the world to come here to the Molly Kathleen. I will tell you there were 2 children involved. We are giving them mental health care if they need so. We're getting them rooms. We're doing everything we possibly can to make it better at this time.
Are you aware if this has happened before?
You know, the last time there was an incident was like 1986, so it's been a long time. This really is one of the safer tourism pieces that go into a mine anywhere on Earth, I believe. Like I said, this has been a family-owned business. They've been doing these tourism attractions for well over 50 years.
When you talk about, again, with respect to the person that did lose their life, is there anything you could say, man, woman, age, there anything at this point?
All I can tell you is we lost someone, and that we're investigating at this point. And really, for the family members, I don't want to release any other information because it may identify what happened or who it was. And I really want time to be able to speak with those folks.
Sheriff, just to clarify, in
Yes, sir.
regards to the people who are still down there, is the current plan to not inform them about the situation unless it's absolutely necessary until they get to the surface?
What we have told them is that there's an elevator issue, because there is. Right now, we want to inspect it, make sure it's safe before bringing them back up with it. We do have a plan B and a plan C already set in place with rescue officers. It's really being well done, right? We have people and engineers from the state of Colorado, from our local jurisdictions, mine safety from our partnering mine right over here, our fire departments. Really, we have the best people in the country that are here working on this issue right now, and my hope is that we can have it resolved tonight.
It's our understanding there's supposed to be daily inspections when it comes to tourist sites like this one, or shafts that operate within mines like this. Is there questions right now into, where or how that was kind of carried out yesterday, overnight, this morning?
Well, I will tell you that these folks are inspected quite often. I don't know what their last inspection time was. That's part of the investigation that will occur. I will tell you this is the only safety issue we've seen in since 1986, right? So they've done a good job with that, and the state of Colorado actually looks at that. So that's what I can tell you about that.
Just to reiterate, so you said about 11 people have been rescued. There was one fatality, and there's still 12 more that are at the bottom.
At the bottom at 1,000 feet, yes.
Okay.
All right. Dan, would you like to say something?
Yeah, I just reiterate, thanks for your forbearance and your patience. Obviously, these folks have families. And you're looking at folks behind you here, city council, mayors of all our small municipalities. We take these things personally, and so I'd ask for your forbearance. Just stick to the facts. Jason is our incident commander. I also want to say thank you to Jared Polis, to our governor. He called probably within 10 minutes of our initial call. Senator Baisley happened to be with us for a hearing, offering anything he could. And so they are obviously the experts. In the end, the decision will probably be our incident commanders, and we take that very seriously too. So, and then as far as the mental health piece of it, just to reiterate that, our public health department is down there right now. There are some children involved. So there's lots that's going on, but there's a lot of stuff on social media. I'd ask for you just to ignore that, get your information here, and I appreciate you guys covering the story. Senator Baisley, sir.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Mark Baisley. I'm honored to represent all of Teller County. Really, a lot of this area around here. Yeah, just happened to be right down the street here in Cripple Creek in a meeting with the county commissioners, all three of them, and when we received this news. I chair the Emergency Management Sustainability Task Force, so our goal is to try to make sure that when we call on these folks, because we all expect it, don't we? We dial 911 when there's an emergency, and we expect the right kind of people to show up with the right equipment and well-trained and to get there fast. And we saw that today. I want to extend a big applause and thank you to Sheriff Mikesell, because look what he is doing here, responding immediately and organizing and commanding this event, and all the emergency crew that came from across the state. So yes, and a big thanks to Governor Polis, who was with us immediately and committed some resources as well. So thanks to all of them. They're doing a great job. Let's just keep all those family members in our prayers, because if you're down there 1,000 feet and wondering what's going on, right now is a good time to lift them up. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Sheriff, one last thing. You talked about how you would like to have the elevator operational again to get these people out. You said that you do have a plan B and you do have a plan C. Can you go into that if that were the circumstances of you guys would have to kind of shift?
Yep.
What
So
that would look like?
we do have Colorado Springs Fire Department here. They're 1,000 feet down. That means it's a long rope trip, right? If we have to, we can bring people up on those ropes, but it also subjects those first responders now to the threat and endangerment of doing so, because it's still you're dropping a long ways in a tunnel, right? So we want to make sure the tunnel's safe. We want to make sure the shaft is in good order. We want to make sure all those things are working well. My druther is that we get everybody up through the elevator system, right? Because sitting in a harness from 1,000 feet down coming up is not easy. So that's our plan B. Plan C they're working on. I'm going to get a briefing on it here shortly. But that's really where we're at. We believe that the elevator will be intact and able to do so. But I want to make sure it's perfectly safe before we do so. And once that happens, then we'll be able to bring them up. and I'll be honest with you, I want to give you all the pertinent information and what you need so that you have everything. So as soon as we have more information, we'll call another one of these so that you can get that. My hope that we can get all the people down in the shaft that are really going on, and then I can explain to them what actually occurred, because they really don't have an idea that we have more of an issue up top than what they're being told is the elevator. And really that's because I want to keep people calm, because I can't get them out until I can get something down there. Right.
And how many people who are down there are who work in the mine or are familiar with it?
We have one person from the family mining operation that's down there with them, keeping everyone calm. And what I'm told is that's a former mine rescue personnel. So he has some knowledge about these things. So really what his job is right now is just to keep people calm.
Yeah, and how are you communicating with
Down in the bottom through radios.
Okay.
So we're hearing, and they'll let us know if something's occurring. But that's really where we're at right now.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Just really quickly, just wanted to clarify. So you said there were 2 miners. Are they a part of the groups that's been rescued? Do you know if there's any others as far as that are down there still?
So again, this is a tourism industry.
Sure.
They're not miners. These are folks like you and I that go down there to see what's happening in a real mine, to get an experience. So that's why they're down there at this point. But thank you for the question, so I could clarify.
No, I think I was just a slip of tongue. I know they're obviously tourists. I guess it was a question he asked earlier. There was the 2 children. So those are already people that are out.
They're already out, yes.
Okay.
And I will tell you, because we've seen a lot on social media that there's a report that the mine has collapsed. That is not the case, right? The mine has not collapsed. It is stable at this point for what we know. So if I find out differently, I'll be more than happy to get you that information.
Real quick, how did you get those initial 11 up?
Running through the elevator system.
Okay.
We don't know, though, because of the damage that the elevator sustained, whether that would contribute to something failing again. So that's one of the reasons we want to make sure that the engineers, and the state is sending us an elevator expert to identify if the elevator's safe. So that's really where we're at with it.
And again, to clarify, the Colorado Springs Fire Department is already down at the bottom currently?
No.
Okay.
So there's no one else down at the bottom, because we don't want to risk moving anything or putting something in an environment that we're not quite sure of yet, right? So once I get that information, we'll be able to move forward with more information for you, but really to hopefully move people out of that area. Yeah. All right, thank you, folks.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.